Mic was muted. Sorry about that. But I didn't expect to go live today because I had, I didn't think mic was muted. Sorry about. Okay, we're good. Sorry. But anyhow, like I was saying, I didn't expect the hurricane hunters to go out. Like I was gonna just wait till later, till after the hurricane hunters, but they went out a little earlier, so I just kind of decided to just go live because the raw data, the most up to date information. Um, Really quickly before we go look at that aircraft, Hurricane Hunter aircraft data, you can see from the latest advisory, it's at 998 millibars, moving west at 17 miles an hour, and maximum sustained winds of 60 miles an hour. So a strengthening tropical storm. The latest cone forecast from the National Hurricane Center, you can see that we do now have tropical storm watches over here near those British Virgin Islands, just to the east of Puerto Rico on the northern side of the Lesser Antilles. We do have up here those tropical storm watches in effect, and you can see that by 2 p.m. Sunday, the National Hurricane Center is expecting a major hurricane before finally curving out potentially to sea. Um, but this is right here the Hurricane Hunter plane that is out there right now. That's inside of Erin currently, and you can see how really right in here, it's gained a lot of strength. There's a lot of strengthening in kind of in this circle here, indicating that the storm is still still strengthening and still continuing to intensify on its flight path. You can kind of see the whole flight path here as well. Excuse me. Um, Here on Weatherwise, you can see the latest on the satellite imagery from uh, Tropical Storm Erin. You can see currently the system is right here, and it is closing in on the islands over here. As it continues on its push, potentially continues on its push to the west. And you can see that a lot of the models initialize the storm up here to the north and it going this way. But on satellite, the storm's down here, but you can see kind of. Let me pause this. Oops, I didn't close my thing. There we go. You can see if I pause this here, you can see how in kind of the latest frames, how it's trying to go a little bit to the north and gain that latitude, but you can see that it's still kind of on that, it's still pretty far to the south. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what the Hurricane Hunter find inside of Erin, like you can see there. Um, and this is the latest drop, the drop, the drop node that they do, and that kind of shows everything. Um, let's see if I can find it. So it's suspected to be around 998. So this line would probably be the most accurate. Um, but you can definitely see again a lot of strengthening here in the Hurricane Hunter flight path through Erin here. As we await more kind of updates from the National Hurricane Center. These after this flight path goes through, we should have much more information that's going to go into the models. So definitely our overnight models tonight, our 0Z model runs, are going to have this aircraft recon data, and it's going to be very important to see what they do with this data. Um, but let's go over some of the models while we're waiting for more data to come in. And you can see here from the latest icon, the 18Z. So this is today, we'll just go to 7 p.m. So this is where the icon model initializes this storm. It's the center right here when in reality it's kind of more down here. So it's a little bit farther southern than what the icon is showing. But anyhow, we keep it going forward. You can see how the icon continues a westward, more of a weaker track. And then the latest icon does show it bringing very, very close impacts to Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos gets really close. And then as we keep on going, it just goes all the way down to a 922, which is just absolutely insane. Um, on this latest run from the icon, which does take it, which you can see how it is starting to kind of curve. So it's going to try to kind of go and curve out. It just depends how long westward, it just depends how long until it takes the turn. That's going to determine a lot. This is the 12Z Euro, the latest European. Take this back out. Today's the 14th, so the 14th at 7 p.m. initializes it again as a 1006 millibar, very weak, and then rapidly strengthens, gains a lot of latitude farther to the north than the icon around the 17th, so Sunday. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep yawning. And then continues up and misses the coast and the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, misses all those areas. Does get very close to the coast though, but not close enough to cause any significant impacts as well. The Euro AI, the 12Z there, does show again. There we go. Does show again that it's going to move westward, but as we go overnight, as we go into this weekend, it really likes that northern track, brings it somewhat close to Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands, and then brings it kind of close to Turks and Caicos, but then misses the Bahamas, barely even glazes the North Carolina, Virginia beaches there, and then just goes on out to sea. And then the latest run on the GFS. This is the 18Z that's just coming out now, so we are going to get more the 18Z model data here pretty soon. But the latest GFS initializes this as 1001, so a few millibars off, and just takes it to the west, gains latitude a lot faster. Still a little southern here compared to the previous runs, but still far enough north and east that it doesn't impact anybody. Goes in between Bermuda and the East Coast, so no impacts for anybody on this run of the GFS, which is the latest run. So, and whoops, let's go up. The Canadian model, this is the 12Z, so the only 18Z model run we have right now is the GFS, but that will change in time. Again, still shows a kind of a weaker system, initializing as a weaker system, and then takes a more northward and eastward track out to sea, maybe a little bit of more impacts to Bermuda on this run, but again, doesn't show much impacts at all to the British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Turks and Caicos, or even the United States. And so let's see. The hurricane models, this is H-Worth 12Z, the latest run of the H-Worth. I'm trying to get so you can see the time and the places. There we go. So we'll go back. This is 7 p.m. Initializes it as 1002 millibar. Continues to bring it to the east. Continues to strengthen rapidly. it gains latitude. It brings some banding to the British Virgin Islands, the Northern Leeward Islands. Brings a little bit of banding towards Puerto Rico, but not a lot. And then continues to go north. You can kind of see the islands down here at the very bottom. Mainly misses those islands, and then as it continues, you can see again just mainly missing um, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, but again brings a very close impact to the Leeward Islands. I mean, the H wharf here, you can see the very heavy banding here on the southern side of the system. Very heavy banding that's going to bring a lot of flooding problems if that were to show true. The HMON, the latest, the 18Z of the HMON is actually running, so we are getting the latest run here of the HMON model, and it does initialize this as a 997, so the HMON initializes it a little better than the HWARF, and again shows more of that westward push, and again more strengthening as we go into this weekend and overnight tonight. So that's kind of the latest with the HMON, which is still running. So if the House A and House B are running, then we're just gonna wait it a little bit to show you guys the hurricane models. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait to show you guys the hurricane models. As the 18Z is running right now as we speak. It only goes out to 4 p.m. today, so I mean, like an hour or so ago. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait on our hurricane models. This is the latest with the ensembles. This is the 12Z ensembles, and you can see with this is the Euro ensemble. This is the GFS ensemble here, and you can see with the GFS ensemble that the GFS ensemble does show that northern turn, but you can see some members take it a little bit south and get a little closer to the west. And then even with the European, you can see the thing is it initializes it here. I want to show you guys this real quick. Both show it kind of directly southern. Oh, I say southern of Puerto Rico. Kind of bring it to kind of the northern islands right here, right? And if we go to the live satellite imagery of the storm, and we'll pause it here at the latest frame. That's not the latest frame. That is. So we'll stop this. This is right now. And you can see that, don't mind this, that was from, it kind of initializes it to where, initializes it pretty well, I guess. But it's a little bit, I think it is a tad bit to the north on the initialization, when you could see here that most of the convection is right here, but you can see most of it is more to the south. There's not much northern convection. You can see how it's more organized to the south and a lot more disorganized up here to the north. Try and get the latest update on our hurricane recon. Let me see. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the how does this look? There we go. That looks a little bit better here on the Hurricane Hunter recon here. Let's see. So we want the, let's see. This is what we want. If I click here, what's going to happen? Oh, this just brings me to all that. Okay. Don't tell me you're going to. Okay, we're going to have to like not redo this, but gonna have to go back into it. We're just gonna refresh the page. There we go. Go to there. There we go. So let's see. So I think they have found a center, I believe. Reported winds are usually over a 10-second period. The National Hurricane Center advisory speeds are the highest expected winds average over a 1 minute period. So I believe from the Hurricane Hunter data that they have found the potential center of Erin. You can see that it's 1,002 millibars, which would be a little bit on the weaker side, which would follow with a little bit more of our models. But that is the opposed center of Erin right now. And you can kind of see now that they have a center, what they're gonna do. Excuse me. What they're gonna do now, since they're right here, is they went up in this way, and then they're probably gonna go like they're gonna make a kind of like a I don't know. They make weird like a weird kind of shape. You'll see it as we get more information, but we do have a confirmed center from the recon data that does show 1,002 millibar low pressure system or low pressure out here. And let's see how that confirms to the kind of to the islands that we're looking at. So if this is the center right here, yeah, it does match with some of our models. Um, Kind of this is like the bigger island right here that we were looking at, and how it was kind of directly to the west of that, or the east, and that is true. So we do have a little bit of a weaker system down here. You can see right here 1,002 millibars, so that is going to impact the National Hurricane Center update, which we will stay alive for that. We will stay alive for the next National Hurricane Center update. Let me back out. So the current update is just came out 4:40 p.m. Oh well, yeah, that was a little bit ago. Okay, yeah. So the next update will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. So probably within the next hour, we will get the this update from the National Hurricane Center. I believe that will give us a track update too. Um, let's take a look here. Let me see here. Okay, so the we won't get another track update until 11 p.m. Eastern time. I know it says AST, but Eastern time. So we'll get an intermediate advisory in this next update, and we'll get a new track later this evening into the overnight hours. We will get a new track. So, all right, but you can see we do have a pressure system right here, 1,002 millibar low pressure right here. Um, so yeah, all we're talking about for now is Erin. I know that there is some concern about this system right here in the Gulf, this 40% right here. This is, if anything, just going to bring a little bit of rain. But, I mean, this is kind of the area where it's projected to go. So from Houston, Houston eastward, you'll be fine from this. I mean, you'll get the rain is a potential probability, obviously, but it's not going to be 12 inches, and nothing too crazy um, there. So again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. We're gonna be here talking about Ian for probably the next till the next NHC update. So probably within the next 45 minutes to an hour. So if you guys got questions, drop them down below. I'll answer them to the best of my ability here. Oh, where did my mission go? Oh, there it is. I was like, what the heck happened to my mission? So we're going to be looking at different stuff. Okay, so this is like the actual satellite imagery. Just wanted to show you guys. This is the actual satellite. So, and if you look at the system, if the center is up here, you can see that there's a lot more convection, kind of on the southern side of this storm, and not a lot. I kept drawing, gosh darn it. But again, like I was trying to say, a lot more convection down here and a lot less up here because it is getting impacted by some drier air to the north up here. So that would indicate a little bit of weakening on the northern side. But still, looks like, still trying, still fighting, but we do have a low pressure, kind of a center for Erin now. That's 1,002 millibars right here. And you can see this is the islands, Puerto Rico over here as well. So, see here the plane, Hurricane Hunter aircraft is right here. It's probably about to make another, it's probably going to turn. That's a bad line. Hold on. It's more than likely going to make a path like this. It's probably going to go straight and then turn down and make another path like this, and then go here, and then go up here, here. They're going to make some sort of path, but the fact remains this is the path it's going to take. It's going to continue straight, and then it's going to curve down and go right through the center, the discovered center again. So we're going to be live until the next National Hurricane Center update comes out. You can see with the latest, this is the latest infrared satellite on air right now. And you can see it's a lot, you can see it's a lot more, you can see that there's a lot more organization trying to happen with this storm. But it just can't quite find, it just can't quite fight off this dust that's coming to the north and the drier air. But eventually it will, but as of now, it has not. So I wanted to go a little more in depth because I kind of feel bad for me, but the Virgin Islands, uh, Saint Martin, Saint Kitts, and Nevis, Montserrat, Charlotte, Amelia, are all in. I believe those are the islands there that are under that tropical storm watch that has been issued for this latest update. Quick check on our hurricane models here. The HAS A model run, the latest, goes out to 24 hours so far. Hurricane models take a while to render. I doubt this is with the new recon information. We'll see. We'll just say that the hurricane hunters are right. It's 1,002 millibars. So the HAS A, initializing it about 2 millibars stronger than what it already is. And then you can see here, this is the exact millibar it is right now. So you can see that it's going to kind of be fighting for overnight tonight into the early morning hours, and then it's going to try and yeah, you can see on the latest run it does take a little bit of a more weaker path. If we look at the just going, why can't I go to the 24? There we go. So we'll look at the 24-hour period. So this is it right now to the 24-hour mark at 1 p.m. tomorrow, 1 p.m. on Friday. If we look at the 12 p.m. on the 12Z at 1 p.m., it showed, shoot, uh, you could see here, sorry, let me go here. You can see it showed a 998 potential hurricane on the latest run, just 1,000 millibar per tropical storm. So a lot weaker as well. Let's go back to 7 p.m. here. The HMON should be coming in as well. HMON's a little bit further out, so we'll see what the HMON shows. Here, H1 initializing this as a 997 at 7 p.m., so roughly in about an hour. This is in Central Time. It still shows that it's going to rapidly strengthen still. So the H1 still shows a rapidly strengthening system overnight tonight throughout the whole day on Friday going into your Saturday morning, showing a constantly strengthening system there. So this is a 976 at 30 hours out, 36 hours out. The 12Z showed a 979. So a little bit stronger, a 979, and then on this latest one, a 976. So a little, just a little bit stronger on this one from the H1 model. And the HASB should be running. It's also at the HASB is a little bit faster here. So let's see what this shows at 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. today. It shows at 1,001, so initializing it pretty well. And then you can see how it does really fight throughout the night into the early morning hours tomorrow. Really kind of fights with that dust and that dry air. But then as we go through the morning and the afternoon tomorrow, it starts getting itself together, and you can see the Lesser Antilles. You can see over here towards the British Virgin Islands. That's a 993, and you can see some of the banding on this. On this sort of show true. You can see that all this banding right here is going in this direction. So like all this has to whip around all the way back around, right? So definitely a lot more impacts, and we just got a little bit more of an update there. So let's look at this. Brings it. Oh, it's only 2 more frames, but still, you can see how it does take it west, but then at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, so at 7 a.m. Saturday morning, it's showing a 994 tropical storm or weak hurricane. Just kind of to right around the British Virgin Islands, the Northern Lesser Antilles. We look at this one from 12Z. It showed a 984 monster hurricane that was to the north, and you can see how in the 12Z how these islands are a lot more visible, which means this is further to the north. And let's see. I mean, I'm pretty sure it went further south, but just to see. So this is it right here. This is where it had it on its last run. Let's hide it. Go to here. The latest run, the 18Z. Let's unhide it. So you can see that's where it was. It's a little bit further to the south now. You can see that it did move further south on this latest run from the HASB model. We'll check back with the halves. A does go out to 30 hours, so we only were able to see the 24. But it does show that as it kind of heads on this northern track, that it is going to try to strengthen. And that's what it's showing. Really, it shows strength. So this shows strengthening by Saturday after it. So this time on Saturday, so within um or this time tomorrow night, sorry. So within roughly 24 hours, this is showing a potential low grade hurricane out here um, in the Atlantic. The latest run here from looking at the latest here from the Hurricane Hunters. Let's see. No, I didn't want to click on that. Sorry about that. Okay, that's not showing me anything. So you can see right there, 1002. That is the center that they say that's where the center is. That's where they're saying the center of Erin is right there. So definitely a lot weaker than what a lot of models anticipated here. Um, so let's see. This is for the long way 14. Okay, that's definitely not what I wanted to show. So okay. Again, if you got any questions, you want me to look at something, let me know. Um, but we're getting Hurricane Hunter data in, but we're also getting our latest hurricane models in as well. Just got here what's going on. So we do have a Hurricane Hunter aircraft that has been going through Erin. It has found supposedly the center of Erin, and it has the center right now of a pressure of 1,002 millibars, which is weaker than what the National Hurricane Center said at 998. So it's off by 4 millibars according to the Hurricane Hunters as well. We're also getting our latest hurricane models in here as well. Our latest on the hurricane models. So the HMON now goes out to 45 hours. The HMON is kind of agreeing with what the GFS has showed, which is more of a strengthening system. You can see in this whole run from the HMON, this whole run, that the islands barely get in there. Like if my hotbar was in here, you would see the islands. That's how far north the H1 has us going. Um, let's see. I don't think the is the H Wharf rendering. It is. So the H Wharf is now rendering. Um, again, this is for 2 hours ago, supposedly. It shows it as a 995, which is not what the Hurricane Hunters have, and not what the National Hurricane Center has. So we'll have to see how the H Wharf kind of goes. All right, the Has B model is a little bit further more out now. Let's see. So we were only going to 36 hours. So you could see here, it takes a lot more of a southern trek, I believe. So this is the latest from the Has B. It has it right now, according to the Has B, at 1 p.m. on Saturday. It has it as a 9. Whoops, my cursor just stopped going in a circle there. Has it as a 989. Um, just to the north. See this right over here is Puerto Rico. Over here is the British Virgin Islands. This is like the very north island of the Lesser Antilles. So you can see that if it keeps kind of going this direction instead of going like this direction, you can see kind of the strong banding back here. on the southern, kind of the southeastern side of the storm. You can see a lot of the banding out in front of out here too. That's hitting potentially Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands. So if we compare model runs here, um, so this is where it's at right now, according to the 18Z, and it's a 989. We go to the 12Z this far out, um, and let's pull this back out. So it has it a little. So it has it more south and a more of a weaker system. This has it as a 973 at 1 p.m. on the 16th. The latest run has it more south and a lot weaker at a 989, which does bring more impacts down here towards Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands. So a little bit more of a southern trend on the HASB model run. See what the half A is looking like. Goes out to 36 hours, so this is as far as we can go with the halves A, but you can see this is a 994 from the halves A at 1 p.m. on the 16th. So you can see with these runs actually that this is, oh, that's 1 a.m. Okay, never mind. Sorry, that's 1 a.m. My fault. I thought that said 1 p.m. I was going to say that the half A shows a lot further to the west and a lot weaker than what the half B show, but that's because it's a little bit further. It's 12 hours earlier because it's 1 a.m., not p.m. So the latest run, according to the 12Z, I forgot to draw, didn't I? Yep, I forgot to draw. Okay. So this is where the 12Z has the system. The latest run has it. Wow. Holy. Look at this. So, oh, that's just because when I move my thing, it moves. Alright, so if I scroll all the way down. Oh, no. Shoot. Okay, hold on. We got to redo that again. Let me see. Oh, hold on, never mind. We just got a little bit more runs here on the halves A. So let's see. So we got 2 more frames loaded in. So it does show a little bit more of a westward track and at a 994. So let's see here. This is right here, a 994. We're going to hide it. We need to scroll down to there. Okay. We're going to go to the 12Z, and before we unveil it, let's bring this down to right about there. It has it roughly in the same spot, maybe a little bit further to the south. But it does have it a lot weaker. It has it as a 990, and this is a 997. Or 977, sorry. So it does have it a lot weaker than what the 12Z has shown. So the HMA model, again, this is the model that has taken is kind of your best case scenario. Because you can see if I even scroll all the way down to the bottom, like if I keep this going forward, you can barely see some of the islands. It takes it more northern, but it looks like no, that says 982. I can't tell what that says. Oh, we just got more runs too. Okay, hold on a second. So the H mod shows it a lot stronger, a little bit further to the north. But then it looks like it turns west. You see that? Instead of continuing to the north, this actually turns to the west. a little more. It is, as you can see, this is way to the north, so we get some light banding down here, which would be less impacts for Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. British Virgin Islands. But you can see on the run here, it does take it and make it a little bit further, maybe to that kind of a little bit to the westward push there. The H work goes out to 15 hours. Let's run this back and see what the latest H Wharf model is showing us. Going to bring this up just a tad bit. There we go. So it does show it a lot weaker. You can see how it shows it as a 990 as a 999 at at 7 p.m. So in the next like 40 minutes, which could happen, could not happen. And then it kind of shows more. It just kind of shows it strengthening and weakening, kind of still trying to fight with that dust and stuff. So it is definitely, I would say, definitely a lot weaker. This is so it has a 1001. In the 12s, it had a 1004, so it actually has a little bit stronger. Um, so that is interesting. Does have it just a little bit stronger on this run. So it might be following the HMON uh, there as well. Let's see, do we got another drop here? No, we don't. But you could see what I was telling you guys earlier in the stream that this is now going to head directly back through the center again, as well. And again, just for those of you that are just now tuning in, you can see that this right here is the vortex message from the National Hurricanes or from NOAA, the National Hurricane Center. Um, so it did show that this is the center. This is the center of Erin out here at 1,002 millibars right now, and this is imagery of that. It's just lagging really bad. There we go. And of course, this is the latest satellite of Erin as well. So the lighter grays, the darker colors, the more darker black, red, gray colors means more strength and intensification. And kind of these yellows and greens and these brighter oranges are kind of they still show the basically the darker, more enhanced color is stronger, and the more lighter, colorful colors are more weaker as well. Alright, has be. Let's see here. So let's bring this out. The has be shows it making a close call to the islands down here, but it does eventually show that it will pour north. See that how it kind of pulls to the north, so it looks like maybe some brief banding, some brief winds. According to this run on Saturday evening, so Saturday seems to be the roughest day for the U.S. British Virgin Islands, portions of Puerto Rico as well, and then it kind of moves. But you can see how it is rapidly strengthening after this point down to a 977. And at the latest run had it as a 951, and you couldn't even see the islands down here. So it's a little bit weaker. It's weaker and more to the south, which has been kind of the trend here. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so still waiting for more of the Habs A model to come into fruition, but it looks like it is taking more of a northward turn. Let's see if I scroll down if you can see those islands. Yeah. So the Habs A does show, again, more towards the north, but definitely some of this outer banding that could affect the islands out here as well. But it does show, again, right here to the north. Um, and it looks like far enough north to where it won't be um, a severe impact to Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands. So let me get rid of that. There we go. Again, this is one model run, so again, it's not a forecast. This is just a model run. So 24 hours out here. So this is 1 p.m. on tomorrow. Has it as 1001 according to the H Wharf model. So gonna be definitely interesting to see what happens there. Alright, you can see it is now making a dive back towards the center of circulation there in Erin, and gonna get a little bit more data as it does so. Oh man! But again, this is gonna go right back through the center of Erin, and it will again be able to get more data, and we'll see kind of what the um, I lost my train of thought. Um, we're gonna figure out um, if this is the true center. Um, so, which looks like it. You can kind of see a little bit more zoomed out here on satellite. If this is the center here, again, this is kind of the whole kind of the system in a way. So again, it's more southern loaded than north side loaded, but it's not 100% organized yet either. So you can't fully trust the fact that. But you can even see here that it is a little bit more, again, more southern. So it's just gonna depend when. Uh, let's see. Let's stop this. So it's gonna depend when does this potential. Let me do yellow. So when will this center start making the turn to the north west? Um, it's either going to take its turn here overnight tonight, or it's going to keep going to the west and maybe turn a little later, which would bring more impacts over here towards Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands. So it just kind of depends how long this tracks more to the west before it eventually takes that turn to the north. Alrighty, I do have to actually never mind. So it's roughly 6:30 Central, 7:30 on the East Coast. No update yet from the National Hurricane Center, but we will have to wait and see. Again, this will be an intermediate advisory, so we will not get a cone from the like a new cone from the National Hurricane Center until the 11 p.m. Eastern advisory tonight. excuse me, which I will post on my community tab. Um, so whenever that new cone comes out, uh, around 10:45, 11 p.m. Eastern, I will be posting that on the community tab if there's a significant shift to the south. Um, so let's see. Let's actually look at the cone here from the Hurricane Center. So it's saying like by tonight, like overnight tonight through tomorrow, we should have more of a slightly northwestward pull on the system. But if this track's even like, let me do this in black. So even if this track's a little bit further to the south or to the west and then turns, it makes all the difference because then it could do something like this, potentially. There's multiple possibilities. This is probably one of the most unpredictable storms I've seen. Because you would think it's just going to go out to sea in between Bermuda and the East Coast, no problem. But the more westward this goes, it just depends how far west does this go before it turns to the north. Checking back in on our hurricane models here again. So 7 p.m. the 15th. Don't see any islands in the picture, so it's still out at sea. Check the HMON, and then we'll see if any of our global models are ready. So this goes out to 75 hours, so this will be a good kind of test here. This is the HMON model, just so you guys know. So it does take it on that northwestward turn. So it doesn't impact the islands much at all, Puerto Rico, and again shows that as a 951 strengthening system on the 17th, which is Sunday evening. The latest on the Havze, which goes 63 hours out. So let's take a peek here. Let's see. We want to load all these in. So this is it, right? Kind of the last time we looked at it was over here to the north of Puerto Rico, and then you can see it getting a little bit closer towards. You can see that it is a little bit more northward, northeastward of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. That's over here. You can see this is the system up here. So let's see, how close was this to? Let's look at the 12Z and see how close this was. So it's significantly, I wouldn't say significantly, but a lot closer than what the last run showed. So, and then finally the has B model run, which again there's Puerto Rico, and then the Dominican Republic, and then you can see how it kind of just goes, due north here on this latest run. And you can see this is the edge of the Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas out here, the very edge of it. But it does look like it does bring it just kind of more of a northern turn. So let's see. So again, we're just waiting for the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, which should be within the next 20 minutes, I think. Latest hurricane hunter, you can see the aircraft getting a little closer near that center to make another flight path through it. So, again, if you guys got any questions, anything you want to talk about, put it in the chat and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. We are just waiting on the National Hurricane Center to post the next update here. Let's just see here. All right, redo this. Let me see. Just stuff on the back end here. So that should edit and make it better. Let me do this. Come over here and just make sure I'm on this tab. Okay, good. Alright. Yep. So we're going to kind of watch this here that is about to make another pass through the center. And the latest drop node on this. Let's see. I'm trying to see. So the surface winds are at 28 miles an hour there. Of course, the more it drops, the more a little stronger it gets. But this is just the surface winds. It does show 28 miles an hour on the surface winds there, which I kind of how I think it's more towards that 40. But we'll have to wait and see from this next pass from the hurricane hunters here within moments. And then, of course, in 10-20 minutes, we'll get another update from the National Hurricane Center, which we'll take a look at. Unfortunately, though, it will not have the cone update, which I'm not going to stay live that long, but we'll stay live there till the next till roughly 7 p.m. Central here. Okay, let me run this back to the beginning just to see if we have the Euro AI 18Z has come out. So this is the latest from the Euro AI model. So let me go to the Western Atlantic. So let's see, it's 7 p.m. on the 14th. So this initializes as 1005, which is a little bit weaker than what we have right now, but you can see it significantly changes. And then as we go throughout the weekend, it goes north of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. As we go into next week, again, does show on this latest run that it is out to sea on this latest run. So our 0Z model runs overnight tonight are going to be significant because these runs, I'm more than likely sure, do not have this recon hurricane data in them. So 12Z Canadian, the Icon 18Z, we showed that. Yeah, we showed the 18Z Icon. Okay. So now we're just waiting on the Euro 18Z. The Euro 18Z only goes out 144 hours. So it'll go out to right here, but we'll knock off probably a couple hours. So it'll go out to about the 19th or 20th. So it should be short enough to show us what we need to know. So again, just waiting for this next pass through the center here of not hurricane, not yet. Tropical storm Erin out here in the Atlantic. Let's see. The Hasby does show this maybe getting a little closer to Turks and Caicos over here. We'll have to wait and see. But Shows it a little bit closer. He has a bottle run. Let's see here. Goes out to 69 hours. Let's see. Does show a little bit of a wobble to the west, but then I think it turns more kind of northwestward on this half day run. Again, we're going to have to wait for the whole full run to come out before we can kind of judge. But so the latest H-Mon, I mean, I don't even see it. I mean, that's Puerto Rico. I'm assuming the Dominican Republic it's passing. Maybe the out there near Turks and Caicos. Maybe this is a little bit further to the west. So, and then of course the H4 latest run on there does show that it will take that northern turn, but then it looks like potentially a westward turn. We'll have to wait and see on that run. So the URAI has come in, nothing has changed. So we're got our 0Z model runs overnight tonight are going to be really important because those are going to have the data that we need for Erin. We are also awaiting our next pass through the center from the Hurricane Hunters. If you haven't heard already, the Hurricane Hunters have found a potential center right here of low pressure at 1,002 millibars, which is Tropical Storm Erin out there. And we are also awaiting the update here within the next probably 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes for sure. So we should get it any between now and 7 p.m. Eastern. We will, or 7 p.m. Central. We should see the next update here from the National Hurricane Center. And this is what Erin looks like on satellite as it continues to move towards the west. From what I'm seeing, I think it's moving more towards the west. Let me try and do some drawing analysis. So. Maybe a little turn to the north, I believe. Maybe a little bit of a turn to the north. It's kind of hard to tell. But maybe a little turn to the north there. So let's see. If I refresh, it's going to refresh the whole thing. So I'm going to wait. Wait and see what the update is here. Still no update from the National Hurricane Center. Yeah, still waiting that. This is gonna fly pretty much like this, or it's gonna kind of fly a little farther to the west of the center to see if that is the for sure center, which seems like it is, kind of so far. So. Has B, go to Erin. Getting closer to the end of this end of the run here from the Has B, which does show potential a little bit closer there towards Turks and Caicos as well. You can see the center is here. It's a lot more organized, but you can see these outer islands out here are getting this outer banding from Erin that's kind of training over these areas. So, which if we look, shows it as 90 hours out, 7 a.m. on August 18th. It shows it as, so this is Monday morning. It shows it as a potential, well, definitely a major hurricane, category 3 or 4 hurricane by Turks and Caicos potentially. And, excuse me, holy smokes, if we go by the latest run, the 12Z, it doesn't show it as close, and it shows it a little bit stronger. So, definitely going to be interesting on these 0Z model runs later tonight to see what happens. So it did pass a little bit farther to the southern side of that center of circulation. No update yet from the National Hurricane Center either. So within the next 15 minutes, we should get the next update from the National Hurricane Center, which will put which will kind of dictate. I think they're going to wait because I think they're waiting as long as they possibly can because of the Hurricane Hunter aircraft that's currently in there. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with that, but definitely, uh, definitely something to keep our eyes on. So I'm very interested to see tonight if the track shifts further to the south and to the west. So I wouldn't be surprised if it stays the same, if it moves, because our zero, really tomorrow is going to be, we're late tonight, early tomorrow when those 0Z model runs come in, the 6Z, Once we get more, once the data comes in from this Hurricane Hunter aircraft that's in there, we're going to have a lot better and a lot more ideal area of where Erin is going to go. Again, this is Erin over here on satellite, continuing to move to the west. We'll see if that changes in this update. If they say it's moving west, or it's moving a little bit to the northwest. We'll have to wait and see there. Within the next 15 minutes. So that's what I think they're doing. I think they're waiting for sorry. They're waiting a little bit longer for the Hurricane Hunters to maybe try and get a full flight path kind of through there. I'm trying to see. I don't think the 18Z GFS ensembles have came out. They have come out. Okay. So this is the 18Z GFS ensemble member run. And you can see there's a lot of members that take a more of a westward track towards Turks and Caicos, towards the Bahamas. So definitely a westward shift here in the 18Z ensemble run from the GFS. A lot more members taking it further to the west over here. So the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, I would be definitely not letting my guard down on this system. Definitely more of a westward push on this ensemble run. Definitely more westward. kind of see this here a lot more westward of a push on these on that ensemble. Let's go back. So definitely more of a westward motion there. Going back to the Hurricane Hunter aircraft as it's continuing to fly in and out of air. Trying to look at, nope, still no update from the Hurricane Center. So they're really trying to push this to see what is going to happen. So we got a few more frames, which does show it's still moving northwest, but it does show a lot more banding impacts to Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, as it continues on the northwestward path and continues to strengthen down to a 940 millibar system. Let's see, the H-Warp model maxed out at 57 hours. Shows it as a very strong hurricane to the north of the U.S., British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. Does show that maybe some outer banding could get picked up there in those areas. Man, why do I keep yawning all the time? The H-Mon is actually really far out, so H-Mon all the way out shows down to a 934. So, and again, more of that northwestward track, but still doesn't look like it's going to impact anybody on this latest run. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. And then the has a model that we have to look at as well. Holy smokes. Yeah, the Has A shows a very strong hurricane moving definitely northwest, where you could see here if I play this forward. It goes north, north. I don't know. It goes west, 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 west. So it definitely shows a little bit more of a western push eventually, but you could see a lot stronger of a system, more outer banding towards Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas as well, if this were to show true. Sure get the update here in 9 minutes. Still waiting for that update. So we'll cover the update and then we'll end it unless you guys got questions, of course, which then we'll answer questions and talk to you guys. Again, sorry, I wasn't planning on streaming today. It just kind of happened because of the Hurricane Hunters. I wanted to give you guys the live data and information. And plus the hurricane models we're running. So we're getting a lot of information in this stream. Then instead of waiting for everything to get done and posting a video at like 8 o'clock at night, which is not a bad thing, but I rather kind of post around the 5 p.m. Eastern update because that's when the track, a new track will come out and things like that. So, which we're getting the 6 p.m. update right here. No, we did not. Okay, that's okay. Again, this is just a satellite loop here from the WeatherWise app here on satellite. Just waiting to see what the next update, what the next move is from the National Hurricane Center after the hurricane hours have apparently discovered a center vortex here with 1,002 millibar low pressure. So I would be surprised in the next update if this goes down to roughly 1,000, and it depends the direction here, the moving aspect of Erin. How fast is it moving and what direction in this next update will be uh, pretty huge. Haven't gotten it yet, so Hurricane Hunters now are going to go down. I believe the path, I believe, not for sure. I think they're going to go kind of down and then like this, and then maybe make a second path here through, kind of make that hourglass shape that the Hurricane Hunters are kind of famous for. While looking at recon data, is that hourglass shape. So yeah, I think it's starting to try and turn to the north there in those last few scans. So will be interesting to see. Refresh the page here on tropical tidbits and see what. Alright, so it's just refreshed. Just gonna bring it back a little. Screw it, we'll max it out. Has B, look at Erin, goes to 105 hours out. So, sorry, was this still the running 18Z? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so wow, it does show that it gets super close here. You can see how it goes down to a 937 here by the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and then kind of weakens a little bit on that last scan or that last image, but um, definitely a lot westward here. And you can see how close this is getting to the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. Definitely this band right here, that even if it's just a little further west, a little further southern, this band could come right through here and cause definitely some damage and some flooding issues. So definitely something to watch out for as this is continuing to move to um, probably north. Probably it's still moving west, but it's probably starting to take that northwestward turn. So, and we got the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. We got a new update. Invest 98L is now at 50%. A tropical depression could form before the system moves inland over northeastern Mexico or southern Texas by late tomorrow evening. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall is possible across Mexico and Texas for the next few days. And another hurricane hunter is scheduled to go out tomorrow morning to investigate the system. And we get the latest update here from the National Hurricane Center. Let's see. All right, it's still moving west at 17 miles an hour. They did raise the pressure a little bit down to 999 millibars, and they brought the winds up to 70 miles an hour as well. Let's read this. Let's see. I'm assuming they don't have a forecast discussion. Probably not. Again, the cone will not change in this update. So let's see. I do need to see if they brought out more warnings and watches for the cone. They have not, so they kept the watches and stuff the same right now. Okay, so that's fine. I want to just take a peek at that. So, as you can see here from the National Hurricane Center, that the NOAA aircraft data indicates that Erin is near hurricane strength. So we could have Hurricane Erin at the 11 p.m. advisory later tonight. So we will have to wait and see. I wonder if this is updated. All right. So, well, there it is, everybody. That is your latest update from the National Hurricane Center. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are amazing. Stay safe, stay weather aware. I'll post on my community tab tomorrow that we do have, or my post that we will have I'll post tonight the next advisory, and of course a video tomorrow for sure. We have to do a video tomorrow. A stream Saturday, probably a little bit of a longer stream Saturday, and another video Sunday, maybe a stream on Sunday, we'll see. And then, of course, this Sunday, whether it's a stream or a video, I'm going to be dropping my schedule for next week to let y'all know. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. You guys have an amazing rest of your day.